Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we discussed rules for construction of root locus. So let's start some examples and understand how to draw or how to construct a root locus plot. Right? So let's take an example where GSHS is given as K divided by S, or simply 1 plus S T 1, right? K divided by 1 plus S T 1, and we have to draw a root locus plot for this GSHS, right? We have to draw a root locus plot for this GSHS. So what are the steps to draw a root locus? First, find the poles and zeros of GSHS. The poles are at minus 1 by T1 only, and there is no 0. So P, number of poles, is 1 and number of zeros is 0. Second, we have to find number of root locus branches, that is n, and n is equal to P because P is greater than Z. So number of root locus branch is equal to 1. N is equal to 1, right? N is equal to 1. Now, what is the next step? Plot the poles and zeros in S plane. So let us assume here I have minus 1 by T1. Here I have minus 1 by T1, and at minus 1 by T1 I have a pole. I have a pole. Only one pole is there in this GSHS, right? Now, next is identify the real line RL section. Real line root locus section. So, let us consider that this GSHS is given with negative feedback. Negative feedback. This GSHS is given for negative feedback system. And if negative feedback is there, then which one will be the RL section? On real line, this is the section in the right of which we have only one pole. Only one root is there in the right of this section. That is in between minus 1 by T1 and infinity. Between minus 1 by T1 and infinity, we have a RL section, right? we have an RL section, root locus section, right? Because in the right of this section we have only one root, that is odd, and therefore here the root locus will exist. And we know that root locus will start from pole, and here k is equal to 0, and root locus will end on an 0, end on a 0. And since here no 0 is given in this GSHS, so the 0 will be at infinity. So the 0 will be at infinity, right? 0 will be at infinity. Now, next is find the centroid sigma. What will be sigma? The centroid sigma is equal to summation of poles. The poles is at minus 1 by T1. Real part of poles minus real part of zeros, right? Or sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. It means since this is 1 and this is 0, so centroid will be at minus 1 by T1. So centroid may or may not be on the root locus. Here centroid is on the root locus, right? Centroid is on the root locus. Now, angle of asymptote. Theta I. What will be I? Modulus of p minus z minus 1. So here p minus z is equal to 1. So p minus z minus 1 is equal to 0. So theta naught will be 2i plus 1. 2 into 0 plus 1 multiplied by 180 divided by p minus z. Modulus of p minus z. So p minus z is 1. Angle is 180 degree. Angle is 180 degree. So from x axis we'll take an angle 180 degree here. So the asymptote will be in the direction of minus 180 degree, or on angle 180 degree, in the direction of 180 degree, right? Angle of asymptotes. Now, is there any breakaway point or any intersection point on the imaginary axis? Since we can see from here that there is only one pole, which will end at 1 0, which is situated at infinity. So root locus will start from here and will end up to infinity. Therefore this root locus will never intersect this imaginary axis, right? Root locus will never intersect this imaginary axis. And second thing, the breakaway point, since there are single root, then there will not be any breakaway point. This is the conceptual part. But now, calculate these two values from the formula. To calculate intersection point, to calculate intersection point on the imaginary axis, we use what? Routh-Hurwitz criteria. So for Routh-Hurwitz criteria, first find out 1 plus GS HS is equal to 0. Characteristic equation. And what will be characteristic equation? ST1 plus K plus 1 is equal to 0. And what about Routh criteria? Here S, here 1. Coefficient is T1 and here K plus 1. T1 and K plus 1. Since there is no square term, right? There is no square term, and therefore this equation, root of this equation, will never lie on this imaginary axis. Root of this characteristic equation will never lie on this imaginary axis, right? Now next is compute dk by ds. So differentiate this with respect to s. So I'll have t1 plus dk by ds is equal to 0, or dk by ds is equal to minus t1, which is equal to 0. Here no s is present. No s is present. It means there will not be any breakaway point. There will not be any breakaway or break-in point. So the root locus plot will be only this one. This will be removed, and only this axis, this is the root locus plot for k divided by 1 plus st1, right? Now next, again for negative feedback, 1 plus s t2, 1 plus s t2, right? Now poles are at minus 1 by t1 and minus 1 by t2. P is equal to 2. Again 0 is 0. Z is equal to 0. And now since two poles are there, so two zeros will be there, and both will be at infinity. Number of root locus branches in previous case was 1. So this one is the single branch. But now the number of root locus branches will be 2 because P is 2. Right? Number of root locus branches will be 2. Now locate the roots of this GSHS on S plane. One is minus 1 by T1, second is minus 1 by T2. One pole is here and one pole is here. Right? Now real line RL section. One section is here and one section is here. Identify in which section root locus will exist. In this section, in the right of this section, I have only one root. In the right of this section, I have only one root, and therefore root locus will exist in this section. Right? Not here. In this section. And for this section, in the right of this, we have two roots which is even, therefore no root locus will exist in this section, right? Now look at the combination. Here we have two poles, and from these two poles root locus will go to two infinities, two zeros which are situated at infinities, right? And since root locus is exist in between the two poles, means one branch will come from here and one branch will come from here. One root locus branch will come from this point and one root locus branch will come from this point. And these two branches will meet at a point and then they will break from this point. And therefore, in this case, we will have breakaway point. We will have a breakaway point. So let us find a breakaway point. And previous of that, we have to find the angle of asymptote and centroid. What will be angle of first centroid? Here 1 by T1, right? And P minus Z is 2. So minus T1 T2 plus T2 divided by 2T1 T2 minus T1 plus T2 divided by 2T1 T2. And angle of asymptote will be theta 1 is equal to 180 by 2, which is 90 degree, and theta 1 will be 90 into 3, 270 degree, right? And since there are two branches, one will move from here, one will move from here, and from one point they will break. So this centroid will be in between these two poles, right? Assuming here we have centroid, and at this centroid one angle of asymptote is 90 degree, another angle of asymptote is 270 degree, right? Now find the breakaway point. So for that, find out 1 plus GSHS is equal to 0, or characteristic equation. What will be the characteristic equation? T1 T2 S square plus T1 plus T2 S plus 1 is equal to 0. Not 1, here we will have, no, 1 plus K. 1 plus K is equal to 0, right? And what will be dk by ds? From here I am having 2T1 T2s plus, from here T1 plus T2 plus dk by ds is equal to 0. Dk by ds is equal to 0. And if I put dk by ds is equal to 0, then what will be the value of s? Minus t1 plus t2 divided by 2 t1 t2, and look at the value of centroid. The centroid and breakaway point both are same. It means here only we will have centroid and here only we will have breakaway point. And from this point we will draw two asymptotes. One is at 90 and one is at 270 degree. Right? One is at 90 and one is at 270 degree. Now let us find the intersection point on the imaginary axis, since the two asymptotes, one is at 90 and one is at 270 degree. Therefore, there is no any chance for this root locus to intersect this imaginary axis. But let us calculate by using Rao-Hurwitz criteria. So, s square s1, coefficient of s square is t1 t2, then alternate is 1 plus k, here t1 plus t2. Now what will be the auxiliary equation? This one, right? Because this is the square term, right? From here if I put it 0, then what will be the value of k? It doesn't depend on k. It doesn't depend on k. We cannot find the value of k from this line. And if I cannot find the value of k from here, then how can I put the value of k here? And then how can I find the value of s? How can I find the roots? It means this root locus will never intersect the imaginary axis, right? This root locus will never intersect the imaginary axis, right? In the next class, in the next video, we will move forward to another examples, right? Thank you.